sequence activated.
Testing uno dos. Uno dos. Without further delay, let's get this party started. Oh! 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 What a day! What a day! What happened to our music? There we go. We gotta set the mood here. Somehow I always start the screen off with a Tangent wallet ad. Crazy how that works. Code word dog gets you 10% off. You need some place to store your Caspa. Tangent will do it for you. Look at here, I'm on the 3-minute chart on Bitcoin. For a day like today, let's go to the daily. All I can say is wow. Because if you've been listening to me, I've been telling you to be careful right up here that we may get a bearish retest, because that's normally what happens. We talked about this scenario, but if it breaks above this trend line, that's extremely bullish, and we have to look at it then. So apparently, it's time to look at that. The reason that we did talk about this scenario, not saying at all that I was calling for, geez, almost 36,000. Almost 36,000 on some exchanges, 35 on some others. Definitely a pump that needs some respect. But this could change everything. And how many of you guys remember when we were back over here at this area? Perhaps not on this chart because it doesn't go back that far, but on this particular one. Let's look at this particular one. When we drew this line, and I said I would not put it past them to pull something like this. Does this not look eerily similar to what we have? Because this is the big money trying to get your Bitcoin. Last thing I said is don't sell your Bitcoin. But the move surprised. It was surprising. It was. Because it should have got rejected, just like this one should have got rejected. But we were open enough to at least keep an open mind for this scenario that this may be what they're trying to pull. And with all the rumors of the ETF news, whether it is actually being approved soon or not, the hype is there, especially for Bitcoin. And it's spilling over into altcoins, which is another nice thing. Will it last? Well, we can look at that. We'll talk about that. But this scenario is what happened back in August of 2020, dropped down below it. This was October of 2020. 3 years ago, we did the same thing. That was on the 21st. Today's the 23rd, I think, right? So history doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes. And I think that's well said for this. Now, will we see this happen after? I mean, at this point in the game, you know, I can't say no. I mean, this happened in October. This is November. This was December. Then stuff really started to happen. And can anybody tell me when the halving was? Well, the halving had already happened at this point. That's the key difference between now and then. The halving was back over here in this area. So if we were to chart where we are per the halving, we're kind of still in this little big pandemic drop area for the halving, right? So just some curiosities there. But this scenario, we talked about it. That's why I'm saying just be cautious. Because I was really looking for us to start doing more of a range. She did not come out and knock out our top one at 35.6361 on this particular chart. And this is the one that we're talking about the ranges on. And these levels come from over here. These are areas to the left over here are going to be areas that's going to be hard. So pleasant surprise. Look, this tells what happened right here. This has now become a bear trap, a possible bear trap. Breaking back into the pattern. Now, what happens when we break back into a bearish pattern like this? Well, it's usually followed by parabolic movement. So will that happen? Can't promise it. Is there a chance for it? There's a higher chance for it to happen, just like it did over here. It's the same thing that happened and it started going up. Crazy as it seems, I know. But ETF news? To get a reaction like this just on rumors, nothing official? When something is official, how do you think it's going to react? We'll probably sell the news. It's crypto, who knows? But we're looking at a possibility for more upside. So we've been in this range. over here. We dropped below 25,000. We got into this range down to 15, right? We broke above it. Then we stayed in this range. Now, the question is, are we going to confirm this area, say at 31.7, 32,000, this area as support? Because that can give us a brand new range. So we're just talking about possibilities right now. Nothing in stone, but these are ideas that we seem to be going in and out of ranges. And here I'm just trying to clean up my chart. So I do think this area right around 36,000, just a little under, is a good range. But now we got to kind of look for support resistance that we have back over here. And to me, this yummy area about 37,263 is worth drawing a bigger line as a possible range top. We don't know yet. We haven't got anything up there to confirm anything. This is all purely speculation at this point in the game. We just got a pump and everybody's bullish. That's really the sense of it right now. And rightly so, because this pattern should have broke to the downside. It's a bearish pattern. The idea of this being a head and shoulders, that was an idea we looked at earlier on and then started moving a little bit more to this range idea. That's invalidated. For me, it's invalidated whenever it gets past the previous shoulder. Some people don't look at it that way. Your perfect head and shoulder have a lower high here than you have on your initial shoulder. Those are the ones that play out the best. We're blowing that out of the water. That is no longer on the table. But what are we going to do right up in here? Because we've seen these rising wedges break out and they just go crazy. Are we looking at that? Well, Bitcoin does it. Casper will probably do it too. But see the similarities that we're looking at with those possible scenarios now? Very interesting. So we're covering Bitcoin. My thumbnail tonight is an interesting topic because I'm approaching this a very unique way. There was a live trader, usually goes on during the daytime. Often calls himself an expert professional trader. Not here to dispute any of that. But there was a very interesting thing in just the way that he trades. And he happened to lose one today, and he took it, and we all do. I'm not saying there's anything bad with that. But there were some very key things that you, as my audience, can learn from that, because it all comes down to your emotions. And that would be fear and greed. And I think we can learn and actually see that. Here's the thing about emotions. They lie to you. They trick you. They make you think that they are logic, but it's not. It comes from a sense of ego. And it's just curious. It's just, I think it'd be very educational to see how this plays out and why he made a move. He went against himself. And that's another error that we probably want to look at. But this will be a respectful look at this man's trade. I'm not trying to run him into the ground or say anything negative about him. But I just thought it would be a good learning opportunity for my road dogs. So quickly, let me check into chat, see what we've got going on with my peeps here. So did you guys catch this move? Anybody catch these? Increase your portfolio, get a good run on it, because it was definitely one of those that you want to be riding to the top there. Kind of tricky to look at that now. We're at a very precarious situation there where we could easily get rejected and come down. If we can't break to the upside here, that will spell rejection. Down to retest the bottom of this trend line, that's at 32.4, 32.5. Usually in this situation, there's a chance that it would just break on down to the other side. And then, geez, you talk about a confused marketplace, people will be just going ape crap. They're just they'll lose it. And the bears will be, it will be a madhouse if that situation plays out. So they've already ruined what's the word I'm looking for? Pull it out of your brain, road dog. So all the shorts got stopped out, basically. So that was the reason, part of the reason for the intensity of this move. Just so many shorts, looking at the market same way I was, is a viable way to look at this. even shorting these high areas, which sadly, you know, those did not last long. Especially if there were higher leverage involved. By the time, if you had limit orders, by the time they were hit, you didn't have time to set a stop loss. So lots of liquidations came here. So, and the real question is, are we going to stake? And right now we're still in this pattern. And as long as we're in the pattern, it's still a bearish pattern. So let's keep that in mind. But it normally doesn't act like this unless it's trying to do something. So let's keep that in mind. She may have a lot more gas in her tank here. Remember, we're looking here on the daily with Bitcoin and what we were talking about. Because some of the moving, you know, the moving averages, there's one on one time frame that look kind of suspect, like how are you going to possibly turn this around? A move like this may affect it. We may have to look on that, but we did talk about money flow coming to the upside. And that's one of the biggest things about this indicator is when that's going on, things are starting to look good. Here was something, we talked about it, but I didn't really dwell a lot on it. And it's largely because it's on the bigger time frame, which doesn't matter. But we did speak about this and the possibility of this being a fronter for a big move. But with this is CryptoFace's basic strategy, the trigger wave. Now, to me, I thought this one looked a little deep for a trigger wave, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't press on it. But clearly, this played out. So here's the whole strategy for the trigger wave on whatever time frame. You have a base that forms, right? It's kind of like the handle on the squirt bottle. We're going with the squirt bottle because they have a trigger. Squirt bottles, spray bottles. So you got the bottle part you're holding on to, and then eventually, you know, the wave comes down and it makes a little trigger. Now, one of the things you're looking for is the money flow coming and curving to the upside. Those two key things are very helpful for finding this. Now, if there's some divergences there, that just adds to it. But stochastics were down to the low side. That was another clue heading to the upside. But this is an actual trigger wave on the weekly. So shout out to CryptoFace. I think he may have mentioned that. I'm not sure. I mean, if anybody knows about it, it would be him because it's the first place. I mean, it's one of his strategies. And he has caught this move and he's done very, very well. Also, you know who else did well today? George, Cryptos RL. Go figure. This shocked me. I have all due respect for George now. Because usually when you watch him, he's the guy you go to when you have a bad day in crypto because he's always bullish, always looking on the bright side. So I give that to him. I mean, he's a perma bull. So when you're down and you need a pat on the back, George is your man, right? I like George. We're all George. Look what George surprised me with. This is the guy who like DCAs like green candles and stuff. And I mean, a lot of times, sometimes when he's DCAing, he's buying whatever is hot. That was just interesting. But look what he did. 323% on what? Peppy. George. And look, $9,867 profit. He went hard. George, my man. Now, I'm not advocating leverage at all, but this surprises me more than the Bitcoin move. So George, you got some hidden skills there, baby. I think you got some hidden, and it's long, a 10x. Almost $10,000 profit. I think that's pretty amazing. So yay, George. You do it. All right, let's go and check out the chat. See how you guys are doing, man. Marco said, I bought 2 Tangent, use code DOG. Hey, thank you, Marco. I appreciate that. That helps you and also helps the channel. Because there are charges to have all this stuff that you need to do on this. But you don't own it. you own nothing and be happy. Subscription fees. Marco says, I went all in today, dog. Are we going to stabilize or should we take them, or should I take them games and do risk? I'm having mixed feelings at the start of this week. I wouldn't do any rash moves. Well, we've talked about a few streams ago, but the whole reason behind all this is the low liquidity. in spot Bitcoin available on the exchanges. It's at the lowest it's in 5 years. George has even talked about that. George is a good place to keep up with some news and on-chain metrics, and some other people too. But that is, we will have a lot of volatility, and I do still contend with the range theory. I'm not so convinced that we're going to just keep going up, but we have broke off into this new territory here to reclaim this territory, and we may range out. Most likely we might range out through here. I could be totally wrong, and maybe we'll just pump up and just start a new bull run and look just like we did way over here last time that this particular setup where we flipped support and resistance and bounced up above it. Did it right over here. We talked about this earlier. And that kicked us off. This happened. This is something interesting. This happened in an October. This happened actually 3 years ago. So time-wise, technically, we're kind of in line to follow that same thing. So we could. It's done it before on this same exact timeline, right? It's just odd that it's after, we haven't had the halving yet. This was after the halving when all this stuff happened. And during this time, there were people calling for $3,000 again. Some of the same people still calling for that today. Very, very interesting. That was right in the time frame when I was just actually wrapping my brain around technical analysis, learning the stuff that I'm just sharing with you today. And that's been a big game changer. But tying back into what we're talking about today, there's a big difference between doing the analysis and doing the trade. And I think that's where a lot of technical analysis, you need it. This will help you improve your game so much. Game changer. Changed my whole life learning this and making myself learn this. And I thought it was hard. I thought it was going to be something complicated, mathematical, give me headaches. I have to read a bunch of books. No, it's actually pretty simple. You just got to spend time with it to get confidence in yourself that your analysis works and figure out what time frames work for you. One of the struggles that I had was that I would see what was happening and what the charts would tell me would happen, but it didn't happen when I thought it was going to happen. Came like a week later. And so I finally got, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm like so many days. I had to get in tune with my strategy and figure out how to, it's weird to explain, but you come into your own with technical analysis. You pick up the basics. It's a buffet. You add what works to you, to your strategies. There is no one set way to do this, and you'll see lots of people approach this different ways and end up with similar results. But still, it all comes down to you as the investor, as the trader, whether you pull the trigger. So a lot of people will post setups, a lot of live trading people, and they're great and we're making, gains and gains, but they didn't pull the trigger themselves. Maybe people in their trading group, something, other people did. Maybe people on the stream did, and hopefully their analysis was right. And, but I don't know. I'll shout a victory for the coin, but if I don't take the trade, then I see no bragging rights if I don't take the trade. Anyway, so all right, so we're going to spend just a few minutes, turn the music off here just a little bit, going over our thumbnail, and I mean not long. And like I said, we're going to do this very respectful. I'm not here to criticize his analysis or anything, but there's something that we can all learn from what happened to him today. And as soon as I find the right button to push, well, we can talk about it. There we go. All right, so this is the Crypto Lifer channel. Interestingly enough, we learned technical analysis about the same time frame. We were in the same trading group, although I did not know him there or anything at all. Was not aware of him. I just saw some very similarities between what he says and then what my mentor said, such as rounded bottoms pay the bill, falling wedges break out 68% of the time. Only, you know, that falls to falling wedges, doesn't fall to just everything. But here we are. We're going to let him talk. He had a trade setup. He had a valid trade setup. I wouldn't say that. I'm not debunking his trade setup, but I want to point out how it played out, how it messed with his head, and he didn't realize it. And that's the key thing that I want to talk about today, is that your emotions will play with you. They will make you think that you're doing the right thing. They will make you think you're not emotional, and you'll see that with him too. But I think at the end he finally figures it out. So I think I do have some sound here, and we'll go ahead and we'll start with Mr. Sam.
I feel like I'm forced to. I don't even want to open a trade. I got to travel today, but I feel like I'm.
All right, forced. That's one thing that I want to point out. He said he feels like he's forced to trade. All right, you should never get in a trade unless you think it's a viable trade. So here we're looking at our emotions, making him feel pressure because he's on a show, he's on TV, he has to look like the man. He's admitted that a lot of times when he has mistaken, but it starts coming down to more of, well, I mean, it's ego, it's emotions.
I don't like with the 15 minute, it's so high, but it like something's pumping on these smaller time frames right now.
Tell me if
I
you
stay
can't hear
reserved and not trade at all? There's a chance. I just see this bigger move coming right here on this. See, this is a cup and handle. See, there's a cup.
I'm going to
little
pop
handle
out
there. I see that breaking out, and it is. I mean, you can see the stochastics want to go.
All right, so he's getting his trade set up here, which is fine and dandy. Okay, so here we go.
So you can take a shot here. I don't like how high the stochastics are, but
so he's seeing things that he doesn't like, and he is on the 15-minute time frame. Now, I'm going to point this out because he doesn't do this until later when he starts going to the 4-hour, and he decides the 4-hour looks bearish, like it's going to dump on us. I mean, my advice is always start out on your bigger time frames, narrow it down, then come down to your entry. You snipe it. You know, I like to look on the daily. I like to look on the 4-hour, check out the 1 hour, the 15-minute. Then I can come down to the 1 minute and do whatever I need to do, get myself set up. So here's his trade setup, and let's see if we can see it here. And it's fine. Now he's got a stop loss here, 1.29%, which I'm actually impressed because a lot of times he will get some wild numbers on here up to, you know, I've seen him go up to 18%, which will not work on leverage. So I think he's got that under wraps. Now he's to be fair, he's never really messed with leverage until about March of this year. This is the Mr. Price, who teaches people how to trade leverage. But before we get into this, let's look at his trading habits. Now, here's the thing, and this is part of it that's going to bite him. You see all these trades here. When he gets on here and he trades on this show, it's always scalping. And I mean, we'll see when we walk through here. But every one of these green arrows is a buy, and every red one is a sell. And so we open a long, sell it, but he doesn't give it much time to play out. That is one of the things that you will see if you watch him actually do live trades. I mean, he doesn't give it a chance. So you do have to question, well, if you're not giving it a chance, do you not trust your TA? You should, when you go into a trade, you need to be solid about your TA. And so far, he's making it look right. You're getting your entry, your exit. Now, here's the thing. That's a risky point to enter right here. And he's feeling pressure just because he's on live to get in. And to me, that's not very wise. You're at a point of resistance right over here. And hopefully you can see where I'm pointing with my mouse. But not the greatest place to jump in my personal opinion, but okay. You can still build a position. Let's see what he says.
Things are just out of control, and we may just continue to pump, you know? Look at that 1 minute trade. That would have been a beautiful 1 minute trade had I been watching the 1 minute time frame. I mean, look at that. I can't do it all. Like, I'm pissed right now that I missed that. I'm like, dude, how did I miss?
So he's pissed right now that he missed that. That's a little bit of a key for, well, that's the first stage is this FOMO, when you start getting pissed that you missed something. Because inside, your emotions are saying, revenge. I can still get back in. I can still. That's just what our brain thinks. So I'm walking you through some of these things. I don't know exactly what's going on in his mind. I do not know what he's thinking, but this is what I'm reading, and you'll kind of see some of these things play out.
Missed that. That was such an easy move. 4% gains on 10x leverage. Bang. I mean, you can't beat that. We could double top here, though. So now you can see some resistance. All right, so I gave you some small time frame stuff so I can move on. I just don't want to... I want to make sure you guys are seeing what's going on and you're privy to the information. And, you know, what I could do, too, is I'm going to just hide this for a second. These are groupings. Whenever you do something on the chart, you can group it out.
So we got his... Let's get his first entry here. We actually pushed the trade in.
Boatload yesterday. Well, I go back into the profit right there at 30,991. And then the bigger target I got is about 31,000. I'm going to call it like 800, 31,808. 808 in heartbreaks, right? $42 to risk on 119 bucks. I'm going to begin the trade. If it starts to go well, I'm going to add to the trade, all right? No reason to risk too much. I made a boatload yesterday. Why go back into the market with a boatload, even if it ripped?
Okay. Now, this is getting an area that I'm not trying to get into, but when somebody says things like that, it is kind of cool if they can kind of back it up or explain stuff rather than going on face value. I'm just saying that.
It'll come back down. I can short it. I can long it. I do not have to FOMO in.
Technically, everybody made a boatload when 2% was his. But we're sticking with the trade.
Make that really clear. No FOMO needed in any type of trading. Keep yourself centered. Keep yourself going. All right.
Hi, okay. So he knows what to do. He knows what he needs to do, but watch what actually happens, though. Okay, so we've got our trade set, or he's got his trade set in. Let's back that up and look at it. He's got a take profit at $3,100, $800, 808, 31,808. He put a stop loss in at 30,331. That's where the bottom of that red box was that we saw. We can get over here to it.
Groupings.
So at the bottom of this, and what he did was put it at the, below the previous low. So, I mean, it's a viable stop loss because if price does break and make a lower low, this trade's over. It's done. Okay. So far, so good. Risk to reward ratio is 2.24. A lot of that has to do with how low we put a stop loss. Me personally, in something like that, I would want a tighter one, but let's, can we get out of this? I think right over here, I've got the same setup. And I can kind of explain this better if I can point it out. And I need to get on the 15-minute. I had it all over here. So this little guy. So it was this area that he was looking at, taking this trade after it broke out, basically a falling wedge type pattern. Okay. And then it came up and it started flagging out. Okay. And this is when he decided to get in. Was right before this big drop. Okay. Here's the thing that I do notice with him, that I'll say, I don't think he's a student of Bukowski. Now, from the trading group, some of the information come from Bukowski, but to study that you had to deep dive into that yourself, right? Because the trading groups are, if you've ever been in one, But the biggest thing about these is that, yeah, we get a breakout, but it has a 64% chance. Okay, it's got a 68% chance to break up. But to come back to retest the trend line is 62% chance right here, a throwback, 62% chance. Now, I never see him mention that. I don't see a lot of people mention that. And I think that's sad because just as these patterns have a good percentage to break to the upside, like this one, 68% chance, 62% chance it is going to come back to retest either the breakout point or retouch that trend line. And he doesn't trade that way. So those ideas never seem to occur to him. But it seems like he's looking, he's trying to get in on a flag. The theory that there's a flag after a breakout that, you're good for upside, which it was, right? Okay. So here's the deal. He does go in and he adds some more, and I think some people are giving him a hard time because he did go in the red a little bit.
It out.
Then he went into the green a little bit, and then, you know, when he's in the green, he's a lot happier, and you can tell that about him. But the real essence of what happened, let's just go ahead and cut to the chase of it. And I think we got this at 130. We'll just skip through all the windiness, all the filler.
It means a lot. This goes back into the company, and we really, 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 really appreciate it. All right.
So we should start talking about the trade here.
Bitcoin's struggling right now. May have to bail on my trade, man.
May have to bail on his trade.
$100.
Down almost 100.
Man, I lost the trade in front of everyone today. I got buried.
What does the chart say? What does the 5-minute chart say?
They said they were going to fly, but the 15-minute said no, and I defied them because every once in a while the 7-minute will pump, so I took a shot. Like, I've seen this happen before.
Nothing wrong with that.
Stopped out?
No, not yet.
Is it going to go back up?
But I don't want to lose more than $100, you know?
Okay, here's the thing. This is the whole point. When you go into that trade and you pull out your little calculator here, you get your trade set up. This is where you determine if you don't want to lose $100, well, you need a tighter stop loss. Pure and simple. So to set a stop loss down here somewhere, where, you know, we'd make a lower low and that would invalidate that trade, to just be wishy-washy with your stop loss, that's your first problem. If you define this trade, you need to let it play out. And that's one of the mistakes I do see him make a lot. And you can see that over here. I mean, the buys and sells, he's in and out very, very quickly.
So
I think it backed up on us.
The 1 hour wants to pump, but the 4 hour doesn't look good. The 4 hours, 4 hours suggested it's going to take a dump today and start to move down.
So now, okay, this is emotions coming in. It's already, he's down. He's just down $100. He has not lost this trade. This trade has not stopped him out. It has not, but is playing with his head. It is making him feel bad. Now, when he goes to the bigger time frames where he should have started in the first place, I'm throwing that out there. He should have. If you did that, you probably would have had a better feel for what was really going on. Usually happens that way. So now it started to look bearish to him, right? For the 4 hour that we're just going to keep on dumping down. So now we're starting to taint our thoughts. This is all emotion. Remember, he didn't want to do that.
I found a gap in the CME that's a gap here in a fair value gap that suggests that we go lower too.
Okay, so did we go lower? Hell no. Hell no. It came down. Here's what happened. It came down. It never hit a stop loss. It never hit his stop loss. And it was just doing a retrace of this trend line. Just a wick down there to say, hey, man, 62% chance it comes down there and does that before it continues on the way that it should go. This is the sad part of it. If we can play this out.
We gotta go anyway, so it's better you don't have a trade on your mind.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It just tanked.
Okay.
Damn. I'm about to get stopped out.
Now he's feeling it. He hasn't stopped out.
No. Put me below 7K.
That's life.
I'm never up at this time. I never traded this time either. See, I don't trade the open.
Yeah, so you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see the mental process that's going on here. So we've got to have, well, why is this going against me? Whatnot.
I don't trade this. See,
Find
I
a
don't
reason.
trade the open. See what happened? They dump in the market right now in my face.
So, and this is there was a market. And I'm not blaming. This is natural. I mean, I'm sure this comes over all of us. These emotions and everything when we're starting to see things go against us, especially if there's pressure. So, I mean, I feel for him on this, but this is where the art of trading is different from your technical analysis. For one thing, it wasn't the greatest entry. I'm just saying, but I just find it interesting that he's not cool with losing $100. Well, you should have put it where you got a shorter stop loss. But since you put this stop loss, you made the trade, let the trade play. Watch what happens.
You know, whatever. I'll just take the loss. I didn't get stopped out yet, so I'll keep it going. I won't get emotional. There's a chance I
won't
stay
get
with the trade.
emotional.
We double bottom here, and we pump back to the upside. 15-minute is starting to get oversold, so we'll see.
All right. So he's going to give up on this trade, even though there's a good chance that we can double bottom and pump to the upside. He sees some potential for some upwardness, but he's selling out, closing this at the bottom, just so he won't get stopped out. So, I mean,
I didn't get stopped out yet. We'll see where we go.
So he's saying he's going to control his emotions, going to see where he goes.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I finally didn't hit, but I never trade at 9:30 in the open. So that's what happens in the market open. They dump you. You know what I mean?
They dump you.
However, the 15-minute did tell me to watch out and to be careful. We were overbought on the stochastics, and I knew that we would come back down. I just wanted us to see if we can hold this level. If we can wick.
He knew that we were going to come back down. Okay, then why are you scared that your stop loss is going to get hit?
Back up inside. Chances is just a stop hunt before a bigger move to the upside. All right, YGG, and then I'm out of here. I got to start packing up to get to the airport, everyone. I just have to. I have no choice.
And right here, and we are done.
About really with a YGG, it is what it is, right? And I'm down 115 on the trade. That's how you lose $100 real fast. Please join the Crypto Live Show. Learn lose money.
It was messing with his head so much that he couldn't shield his trading group, and that's normally not a problem for him at all. But you can tell that it's affecting him. He doesn't like this at all. And I did. Well, I wouldn't
pisses
either.
me off because I'm always right. You know what I mean? But
here's where we go. This is emotions. This is how your emotions play you. It kind of pisses me off because I'm always right. Okay, so and that just varies because one day he knows nothing but the fact of his own ignorance. The other day he knows exactly where Bitcoin's going. The emotions, they fluctuate. And as traders, we got to be careful of that, or we could do what he does.
Isn't it about percentages? You played a trade with
Closes this trade before it even hits his stop loss, and then what happens?
of course, yeah.
It moons. It moons. So do you think he feels bad now or after the fact?
And Filecoin.
And let's see. Right here at 141, I think he finally
Start looking at my stop losses to see how much
is
I can
being a
lose.
little bit more truthful.
Dude, it did reverse, man.
He's mad. He's mad. He's upset, and rightfully so.
Yeah, don't trade when you're traveling and you got a pack and you have a lot on your mind. Take that from me, man. I'm the only one who can't see the polls. The whole thing is always blank. And last but not least, we have 637 votes here. Will you ever be able to buy Bitcoin under 25K again? 55% say yes. 45% say no. What do you think?
always, sell, buy the fear and sell the fear.
Wyford Trading Coach.
All right, I thought I was at the right one, but right.
940. It's 940. It's 940.
All right, everyone, I'm out of here. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. My wife has to kick me offline for me to actually leave. I'll see you all tomorrow for another beautiful live stream, and I might even pop in tonight. You never know, because the hype is real, and I appreciate it. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for jumping on in. I'll see you probably later and in the trading group. God bless.
Well, I thought I had it right there. He admits he actually missed that it was his words that he panic sold. He panic sold. That's what panic looks like. And I just thought that would be a good learning experience just to go through because your emotions will trick you. They will lie to you. They will freaking lie to you. You can't trust your emotions. You can't trust what they're telling you. They make it look like logic so that they will fool you. And so, just as learning technical analysis takes some time, becoming a really good trader, especially if you're on leverage, takes a lot. It takes a lot. It's not the easy game they make it look like, okay? It amplifies the emotions. And so that's my warning for leverage trading. It can be fun to play with if you do it responsibly. Now, I think he had like a $5,000 account that he took up He got it up to 7,000, so kudos to that. But now he just gave back some of that. So like I said, I'm not doing this to be mean, but there's a lesson to be learned there. It's how your emotions and how your ego comes to play in your actual trading. And no matter how good your setup is, if your head's not on straight, if you're not coming into this with the right mindset, well, you work against yourself. And just like we got in the thumbnail, just like we got in that thumbnail right there, which came off, I think, his Instagram. I can't even blow it up. But fear and greed are your own worst enemy. Your emotions are your worst enemy. And I agree. All right, guys. So hopefully that was a lesson. Something to give us all something to think about. Because in some aspects, I think therapy is one of I think that trading is one of the best forms of therapy out there, because it'll really make you look at yourself as to, outside of just charting and outside of just trading, why do you make the decisions that you do? Where do they come from? Where are you when you're making these decisions? And that'll really open your eyes, because you'll see that when you start making your decisions based on emotions, and they're awfully often not the correct decisions to make. We kind of lose our logic. Something triggers in our head and our logic's gone, emotions take over. And that's why we try to go with the Zen state. It's just like with flying paragliders and things like that. If you go up if you're pissed off, don't fly when you're pissed off. Don't go up when you're worried. You go up when you're in a good mood, so you keep your head straight, because if you got your mind on something else, you're going to mess up and you're going to get yourself in trouble and you could die. So kind of the same thing with trading. A mindset has a lot to do with it. Lifer does stress a lot of positivity. He does stress having God first in your life, and I cannot say anything bad about him for that. And I share those values. So shout out to Crypto Lifer. I had a bad day, but we all do at some point. However, for me, it wasn't a bad day. I've been taking profits on this little thing. I've been growing this little account from $100 to $166. I know it's a small account, but this is my degen place because I'm using leverage. I do not want to get wrecked on all that crap. The real money is made in spot, doing longer swing trades and position trades. And don't forget that. Leverage is more of gambling. And as long as you keep that in mind, I think you'll appreciate it for what it really is. And over here on Fairdesk, I'm up 178% here. A small trade, but building this little guy back up. Bit Unix, I am up 100%. I've taken profits and I've actually exited and got back in. So Curlio, but tiny trades. Percentage looks great. It's built in my account, but it was a small account to start with, and I'm cool with that because I know this amplifies my emotions and it amplifies how I trade. So I want to learn from that. So when you see me on here doing leverage trading, it will always be with a small account, unless it just magically grows to $100,000. Please, for the love of God, Jesus, can you hear that? Can you just give me that? And some people have a totally different take. Some people look at Jason Casper. I mean, that's the man to look for good leverage trading strategies, if you ask my personal opinion. All right. So now we got that out of the way. Let's go to our charts and let's look at what's pumping and what you guys are up to, my man. Anybody still here? There's probably nobody here. Let's see. I remember something like that earlier. Okay. Marcus says, great advice. You're going to lose that money and get your hands dirty. Everybody's got to pay that crypto tax. That's something that's not talked about a lot on some of these things. Now, you know, if you're taking your profits too early, are they really profits? You just may have created a taxable event. I don't know where you're from, but Uncle Sam likes, he wants to go with 40% of it. So did you make more than 40% on that trade? So, I mean, there's some things to consider. Of course, you know, to be fair, they need to figure out how taxation will work in crypto. So far, technically, it's not in their system. You're not really trading dollars for anything. You're trading crypto against crypto. To me, that's kind of a unique system. How do you track the value of fluctuating cryptos? I mean, stablecoin helps, but it's still not really always at $1. there's still wiggle room, and it's not $1. So it's not really in the jurisdiction because the government doesn't like it and don't back it. It's very interesting dynamics to come out in our legal system and taxation. And gosh, I don't feel bad for them, but we need to get some people in there to know how to look at this objectively. That's all I got to say. We don't need some crazy tax laws. My personal opinion, they should just have a straight on-board, off-board tax. For whatever you're taking, if you're doing it on Coinbase, trying to go into dollars, there's a tax getting into the dollars, tax getting out of the dollars, makes it easy for everybody. Boom. And you got your income coming in. And I don't know why they don't do it, because stablecoin is the biggest US dollar is the biggest stablecoin, or the stablecoins are back to the US dollars more than anything else. Yeah, I mean, you could let the yuan get in here, you could let the ruble get in and establish some ground here, get the euro get in, establish some ground. Don't think the euro won't go for it. They will. That may be our new stablecoin, because they're not afraid to make progress at the moment. I don't know if I like where it's going, but just some ideas to think about there. Now, if you trade in euros, is that tax? I mean, how does that apply? When does the taxation actually apply? When you actually convert to US dollars? Or there's lots of uninteresting questions that they need to address. So taxation is definitely something to keep in mind. And to me, that's why these little strategies, when I hear somebody say, just do 3% a day, imagine if you did that every day, you could turn $10,000 into $5 million in no time. Bullshit. Bullshit. Not the way to go. No. Slow and easy wins the race. If you're going to pay taxes, pay it on something good. All right, so I'm a little bit late in the chats here. So we got Chris in the house. Hey, how's it going, Chris? I think INJ, DOT, Solana, LBR. Is that library? That's not library, is it? LBR. I'll look that one up. LDO all have potential upside coming. LBR. We'll take a look at those, Chris. That guy sounds like a Shia LaBeouf. Not sure who that is, but Chris says there's actually a strong correlation between whales moving US dollar or tether to exchanges and the price pumping after they. Okay, is there actually a strong correlation when 12? Usually that. Excuse me. Usually that's a metric you can work out. Now over on Telegram and on Twitter, you can sign up for whale alerts, and it will tell you every time those big, a Bitcoin is pulled off in big areas of big chunks of Bitcoin or Ethereum or stablecoin are pulled on or off to exchanges. And a lot of people would look at that, and you can track it and kind of get an idea. I haven't done that in a while, but I used to do that to try to get a feel for the market. And then, sometimes they just move it just to move it. But usually, yeah, if you do see a lot of tether heading to the exchanges, it's because they're getting ready to buy. I see a lot of Bitcoin headed to exchanges, and they're usually getting ready to sell. So, and it can create some fear. Because a whale just moved 50 million to Binance. Wow. Oh, what happened there? I have no idea what happened there. I appear to have lost my chat box again. Here we go. Marco says, so how you liking Fairdesk in comparison to other exchanges? I'm starting to see it around everywhere. I like it. I like it good for the futures. The futures do good. Spot. They've got a decent supply of spot, but it's not huge. Let's see if we can pull that up. But the copy trading, honestly, I don't like the copy trading at all. It does not give me you either nail it or you lose it. That's basically how it works. I mean, there's no position building. Every little trade is a tiny, is a trade. You can't sell out a partial of it. You can't add to that. It's just, you got it or you don't. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. That is very difficult to maneuver. Some people do. There's people over there that are making it work for them. I don't like that, but the futures is fine. It's just like everywhere else, and that's cool. And then of course spot still trying to pull up, navigate their side here. Well, come on. Oh, now this is cool. This is something that they do have over there. It's called, I was trying to find this a long time ago. This is straight up gambling. This is straight up gambling. This is when you can put like a dollar or 50 cents or whatever. And let's do it. Let's put that and say we're bullish. So it's got to close. It's got to close higher in the next minute. And if it does, I win. If I understand, this is the first time I've ever played this, but this is something I have over there, and I hadn't been able to find it to show you guys before. But fair desk. So if you are a gambler, well, this might be right up your alley because you can put in what you want to add. And it tells you the bullish odds are 63 or 63%. Bearish odds are 55%. And I don't know if I don't think my order shook. Did it? Let's try it one more time. Okay, now I've got it open. So I think I bet 50 cents, opening at 34,346, and just in 1 minute, we just got to be above that. And if we were above it, then I win, I think, just 50 cents. I think I double my money. So it's kind of interesting. Let's see how this plays out. Do I win? Do I lose? Get up there, man. Don't make me look bad. You keep going, baby. Don't you come to, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Get up there. Don't you go sideways on me, but go higher. Go higher. This is straight up gambling. But they offer it on fair desk. This is kind of cool. Something. Am I winning? I'm estimated profit and loss is 30 cents. Do I get the difference? No, surely not. So we should be running out of time here. Current round. When do you stop? Your minute should be up, man. Current round, 35 seconds, 34. Now I'm even. Come on. I thought it stopped automatically. I don't see any place for me to stop it. But it says I got 15 cent, 14, 13. Let's see what happens. Go up, Bitcoin. Go back up. Go back up. Don't you do this to me. Don't you do this. Don't you do this. You look so pretty up there. Look at you. All right. And so I think I just lost. Did I lose that? I'm sure I should have lost that. I just don't know about the time thing. But you guys can check that out. Don't need to spend all day on the stream here. But just the futures is fine. I'm not a big fan of the copy trading. Yeah, I did lose that, didn't I? I think I did. Pretty sure I did. They do have gambling over there. It's interesting, and they do have spot. So I do purchase some Bitcoin over there. BitUnix is another one, and they've got they actually want feedback on what coins to add, and they got nice futures, and they got spot over there too, adding to their spot, and lots of options over there for futures. That's a nice exchange. I like the guys over there. They're actually good guys. Out of all the exchanges I work with, these seem to be the coolest guys to work with. Just fair and always updating me, let me know what's going on with them. And of course, I always have MEXC, which that's where I trade mostly, just because that's where I had to go after I had to leave KuCoin. So, all right, so we got some things pumping off, and then we got some things to look at. And I&J was one of them, as I remember from Chris. Look at me, all little bitty in the corner. All right. So I&J loves it. So happy that I finally got a bag of that. Told that story. I'm not going to tell it again. But let's look at Binance there. Are you for real? INJ, I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. INJ. Look at you, baby. INJ has blasted through my targets there, 1054. Heading toward 1452. That should be a, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's a 618 Fibonacci. Let's double check that. Oh, it's not. It's not, but it will be. Fibonacci comes in at 1606. So if there's a good place to shoot for, in my opinion, that would be it. Possibility to move up to $20. Man, if you do INJ, I'll be tickled to death. That would be awesome. Awesome. We're breaking above the 382 now. It was resistance, and it's looking beautiful for INJ. A lot of people would call this a cup and handle. I don't. That's what got Lifer in trouble with his half. He had a half cup and handle, so he said, where he did something like this. You know what these make, right? They make patterns that go down. Just throwing that out there. So I like what I'm seeing here on INJ. Now we've got kind of a ascending triangle, but we broke above it. Now what happens when they do that? Well, they can turn into rising channels or rising wedges, so we got to pay attention to that. We really need to see $11 hold. We really need to see this area right here. What is that? $10. We need to see $10 hold. We may come back and retest $10. And hopefully we'll keep going up and maybe continue parabolically. It's got some parabolic notions going on here. It tried once, kind of lost that. We had juicy buy areas down here at 447. It came in there for a little bit, never made it back because she's a strong coin. Let's clean up the screen just a little bit here so we can see what's going on in our price action. So will INJ continue? I have no reason to see why it would not, because money flow is in the green on the daily. Just like in Bitcoin, things are heading up. Stochastics are pinned at the top, but not a problem. So when they start coming down, we need to start paying a little bit more attention to them. But right now, they're totally unreliable as they just kind of flatline up there. But when they start tipping down, we'll look. Even that's not the end. Let's take a look at our indices right now. This was the situation we were looking at, is breaking to the upside. This is Bitcoin dominance, breaking to the upside and then going parabolic. If that happens, if we break above that trend line, we go parabolic. So Bitcoin dominance is going crazy. The world's going to go crazy for Bitcoin. It's going to be Bitcoin fever. Everyone's going to want some Bitcoin. The government's going to want some Bitcoin. They just stole 50,000 from a dude, so they got some. And also our altcoins total 3 pumping. That's what we need to look at right now. So before we jump into any more altcoins, my thoughts on INJ. It looks beautiful for just more upside. It does. But let's come over and look at total 3. This is total 3 market cap, all altcoins, sans. That means without. Without Ethereum and without, why are you not showing me all types? Okay. This is just altcoins. No Ethereum, no Bitcoin, just plain old altcoins. Okay, so we want to zoom out here. Take a little zoom. A little zoom out. What we got going on here? Fibonacci. We came back to around the 786 area. That may depend on where you pull your fib. At what level, but right there at the 786 level. Technically not touching it by where my measurements are coming up, but that's close enough to make may feel good. The only bad side that we've been looking at is the breaking down of this trend line. But she may pull a Bitcoin on us. And this may turn into a bear trap. There may be some sudden money coming in. I mean, if we see something like that happen, that's going to be. That would play more with this particular pattern that we're looking at, this bullish wedge or bullish megaphone. When they start pointing down and broadening out like that, that's actually bullish for a bullish breakout. The only thing is this, you know, this was a major trend line, so that's something to notice that we broke underneath it. It's usually not a good thing, but we already got rejected there, but it looks like we may be trying to retest it. If we do break above it, expect altcoins to go back crazy. Pretty much that simple. We were looking for a while at a possible head and shoulders forming, but we never confirmed that. It just never made it up there. It failed. Now, could that still happen? Technically, I guess you could. It's kind of a weird triple shoulder, double shoulder. But I mean, yeah, technically, as long as we get a neckline. So you got both of those patterns to look like. I would just go with the megaphone because if you zoom out and you go to the outer extreme of your trend lines, that trumps whatever you see inside it. Okay, and so yeah, inverted head and shoulder, but you know, it's still at the same measure move as this megaphone. So who wins really? What's the best practice there? I think it's to zoom out and go with the broader pattern. So it does have like a 55% chance to break to the upside. Is that correct? Did I say the right stat? 72% chance. I knew that didn't sound right. 72% chance that this one breaks to the upside, even though we got, and that would confirm a bear trap. Doesn't have to. What normally happens when we get rejected, but that didn't happen with Bitcoin. So it's a good sign that it may not happen here, but it's got some work to do with altcoins. It just does. You can always still look at this as being in a range here, and you know, we need to get back to the top of that range anyway. So buying at the bottoms down here, in my opinion's probably the best place in the market to be buying altcoins is when they're down at these juicy lows, and they've been at some juicy lows. Just have to be cautious because things don't go this way. They could go a lot lower. Could. But Bitcoin is the rising tide that will raise all boats. Just have to watch this one very carefully. There can still be some bearish tendencies here. But right now, she wants to do a little something. Right now, she feels like getting out there and dancing on the dance floor. Are you going to go tango with her? Because the MACD looks like it's just now getting started here, and it could have a nice move. So I'm not saying altcoins are going down. I'm just saying still be cautious when you zoom out on the bigger picture. There's still some bearish possibilities here. I want to see us get above. Man, if we can get above 400 million coming in, we need 400 billion. We need $50 billion to come into altcoins, and then it starts looking juicy for more upside. All right, we were looking at Bitcoin dominance, and we can just flip over here where I got them all over here. Bitcoin dominance is still taking off, man. It got up to 50, almost 54%. Now, some of us only looking, some TA, well, I'll put it that way, suggest that it may only go to 60%. I think people are probably kind of reevaluating that. It may go higher than 60%. But nonetheless, usually when Bitcoin dominance goes to the upside, it doesn't help with the altcoins. What we got going for us now is everybody selling out of their tether, out of their stable coin right over here in this bottom area. See that big old drop on the 4 hour? People getting rid of that nasty fiat. They're wanting to go into Bitcoin and altcoins. So which altcoins are pumping today? What's really banging today on the top 100? It looks like they all are. What about a watch list over here? They look beautiful, man. Should we go to the monthly just to see what's really banging? I mean, they're all looking nice. So some nice pumps, definitely Link. So we've covered some of the indexes to get an idea so we can see some altcoins coming. If you get a chance to moonbag your positions, I recommend moonbagging as soon as you can. Taking out your capital, selling half and letting that baby ride, building another moonbag in that same coin or something else. It's just a great strategy. Next to DCA, that's my second favorite. That's the one that will give you the gains, and you let that little baby ride on the house. Can it go to 1 million? It might if you're in the right one. All right, so let's get back to the chat here, and we'll go over Chris's Chris's picks there. Chris says, I did a quick analysis. I don't know why it keeps doing that box. And then I can't read it. I did a quick analysis of time in the trade setup here. Oh, did you? I have not been as active in the Telegram group lately. Hopefully your low dog can look at it tonight. Did you get in at a good price on time? I've been in time for a little while, and yeah, I think my average buy is somewhere between 13 to 4. I'd have to look at the charts. It's under, I think it's under $15. However, I think the very first one I bought when I first started nibbling was a little bit more. So that may affect me a little bit, but time, chrono.tech. So it's trading at 14.29 right now. Got down as low as 13, around those areas. I think this one's an interesting one. It's kind of a lottery play, deals with human resources, a very applicable application for blockchain technology and the Web3 ecosystem that we're going to. I think it's got a good chance. There's a limited supply of this, which means that number can seriously go up. And this time last year, it was up to $205, and it's been way up before that. I mean, seriously, I think there's like, is this the one that has 710,000? Super low supply, which means low liquidity, volatility, and we can look at some big gains on that one in my personal opinion. So let's just check it out over here. Oh, you put the white screen on going market cap. What's up with you? Yeah, 710,000. Not million, not billion, not trillion. 710,000. All in circulating supply. It's out there, baby. It's going to be what it is. And as long as they, keep developing and keep pushing this, and especially marketing, and as this gets onto more and more exchanges, more widely available, well, that's when the pumps will come, and that's when it'll be payday, or on our way to payday. That looks ugly right there. So time, it's basically still an accumulation at these bottom prices. And here I'm on the 3-day chart. So time has not had its time just yet, because not many people know about it, and it is on MEXC. I think it might be on KuCoin. It's just on a limited number of exchanges yet. Indicators are saying, she could do a little dumpy dump, and I'll feel better when it actually gets above this 200 moving average, this yellow line here. Not this line, but this one right here. That's about 1467. So if it can get about 50, gain about another 50 cents and hold it, that would start looking more promising. Get above that trend line there, or that moving average. And, when you do that, that's your first buy signal, or your first bullish signal that things are turning around for it. So time is, still in a good accumulation zone. I'm just saying. We wicked down into this juicy buy zone about 13, and I don't think it'll be there anymore. I think it's safe to say that we can move this up, that we are still in a juicy buy zone right now. My personal opinions on time. And let's find the chat here. Ooh, my eyes are glowing. They feel on fire. Strega says half peppy, half peppy life. He says I got my sales in the red rather than buy. Huh? Okay. This is half peppy. Hey, Strega asked me to talk to half peppy last night. I did. I gave it a good talking to. And it may be working. I have found that when I give these coins a talking to, lately they've been working. It's been straightening their butts out. I seriously cannot take credit for that, but it is fun to speculate on, just to play with. I like talking to them. But half Peppy's starting to go up. Hopefully it will continue, Strega. Make us all proud, baby. Get you a Peppy Lambo. That's what I want to see. A Peppy Lambo mobile. Man, the yawns are starting to catch up with me, and I keep losing my chat box. Chris says, how's your dot bag? My dot bag, it's growing. I'm not trading, and I haven't been actively adding to it. I've just got it staking, and I'm cool with the rewards, man. I'm like, it stacks up dot for me every week. So I had an amount in mind to get to, and I'm about 10% over that. And I think a lot of it come from the staking. So I feel pretty good about my position on dot. Strega says, I'll donate 10K if Half Peppy dares jump. He got no legs. He's a Half Peppy. 10K of Half Peppy, that is. Man, this box, seriously, just half Lambo with Half Peppy. That's a good one. How do I keep this box from popping up here, man? Because every time I try to click on it, it shows you, but it's got to let me read too, and it doesn't. And it's annoying. I can't read. I click on it and then I can't read it. Strega says, is all-time orders hitting? Chris says, INJ broke out of a triangle. And that's how bad my short-term memory is, because I know we just looked at this and I can't remember a dang thing about it. That's sad, isn't it? Well, she broke out all right. She's looking good, man. Yeah, assuming, yeah. Marco says, who's got that Caspa Tangems? Tangems are cool wallets, man. I appreciate all you guys that use my coupon code, because I know it helps you out, and it helps the channel out too. That's been one of the best partnerships I have, because it gives you it's a real, solid product, and that's all I want. I only want solid products here. I'm not trying to shill just any old thing, but if it's a good thing. Also, here's one that I can shill, is this microphone. This is the TZ Stellar X. And it's highly unlikely that any of you guys would be in the market for a microphone, but somehow, since I'm not yet making a video featuring this little guy, featuring him on my live streams one thing, but well, this is my favorite microphone of all times, the Shure S55, the Elvis mic. This little guy right here. This one gives me better sound, hands down. So I've switched. That says it all. That says it all. All right, so we looked at INJ. Let's take a look at DOT and let's see Solana. So what is DOT doing, man? I've not even looked at it lately. I think it went up above $4 again. Oh yes, yeah, you do that, baby. You get up there. You get up there, DOT. Get up there, shake it. Go up there, wiggle that moneymaker. Shake that moneymaker, DOT. We need some moneymaker shaker vibes here, I think. Let's cue the lights. Let's cue the girls. Let's cue the ball. So cool. The only thing is, it needs to get up above 450. Let's get above this area. Flip. Are you not going to draw? Seriously? Here we go again. Gotta reload my page because my paintbrush quit working on me. Probably had too many windows open. Guess I can close this one. And another shout out to George. Cryptos are us. pulling off a gangster trade. I've never seen. I didn't. He's always said. He's always talked against leverage too, right? And rightly so. So it's a man. That's a huge. He made $10,000 on 10x leverage on Pappy. How can you not respect that, George? You've been hiding out. You've been hiding out. You guys started taking a closer look at his TA. So let me pull up DOT and maybe it'll work this time. So I like you at $4.35. I like you even better at $8. I'll just be honest with you. I really like you at $8. Even better than that, $24.50 would just really look beautiful on you. Like, wow. Like model perfect, Dot. I can call you Dot, right? Dottie, Dot, Dottie. And Dottie, if you want to get up to like $250, you will make Road Dog extremely. You will make Road Dog's family extremely happy. Oh my goodness! Can Dot do that even? I don't know. I'm just throwing that number out there, but possibly. I'm getting sleepy. So falling wedge, basically. Should break to the upside. I haven't broken out yet, but it's got a good chance. So will my buy zone at these yummy $3 areas be hit? Probably not. But we do got to recover this area right here. So until we get above 455, somewhere through there, 450, confirm that as support. Maybe you'll do something like that, a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. That would be cool. You get back up to 558 again, drop back down. I'm cool with that. However you want to reverse this, baby. However you want to do it, I'm cool. I just need to see number go up. Looks like you're trying. Indicators seem to kind of like it right now. I would suspect that a lot of altcoins are starting to show some green dots here on the VMC. Wonder if that stands for virtual market cipher or very free market cipher. But I mean, it's good signs on the weekly here. It could do red dot, green dot. Biggest things to watch. The biggest thing from Crypto Face himself, totally agree, is money flow. You watch where the money goes, and when it starts coming up here and going to the green, you're golden. Money flow is the most important indicator on this particular indicator. It's just a big old mesh up of about 5 indicators, so it saves space on your thing. That's why it looks like a melted popsicle. That's all it is. It looks complicated until you finally figure that out, and then you're like, oh, well, this is an indicator here with the little range, and this one's got its little range, and it's not hard to read, and it's free if you go to TradingView. Just throwing that out there. Some people can't afford $500 a year. And they need to know about it. And I'm for the working man trying to get out of the working job. I want to help you get there. So you need resources? You come over to our Telegram group. My Telegram group is free. Honestly, I've not been posting much over there lately. That will obviously be changing now if we start getting run up on altcoins and stuff. As the sentiment in the market is changing a little bit. But there's all kinds of resources over there for you to learn how to trade without having to pay somebody else to do it. And that's because I want everybody that's just coming into crypto to learn the ropes and not have to go through all the hard lessons that a lot of the rest of us had to, because you pay your dues. You don't need to pay a group to teach you. You pay your tuition when you trade. That's where your real lessons come from. You're not going to get around it. You're going to have your losses. You're going to learn the lessons the hard way. It's just that if you kind of get TA under your belt, it makes a lot more sense. You don't make as many mistakes. You can kind of see some things ahead of time that you normally wouldn't have saw before. And then you can work on your risk management and your trade execution. That's the Road Dog curriculum anyway. So DOT, I think is good. I just like to see it break out of this wedge. That, and and may have to even redraw that on bigger time frames. Yawning again. What else were we talking about? Solana. Solana, I guess we're looking over here on Binance. What did I just do there? Put that back. So looking at this channel idea, and that's still in effect. Now we break above that, that would be bullish as all get out. I can't tell you. We have to watch it and see what it does. It's showing some signs like it may want to try it. She may try to break out of this top trend line, and if it does, get ready. That'll be extremely bullish. So if we do see prices come up here, and say we hit $36, get rejected, come back to 33 for a retest, and start making our way up, that's extremely bullish. That means that we got a good measure move after that. What is that measure move? It's just the width of the channel. It could go higher. It's just a very good take profit point. $51. $51 Solana. I may be moonbagging you then. So it's possible, but what also is possible, what usually happens, is that we find rejection there and come down either to the bottom of the channel or maybe to a halfway point. So keep that in mind. Got to look at your indicators, see if we got any bearish divergence going on, and there's a little bit. Giving us some hints that may happen. Not saying that it will, but keep your eye out for it, because there may be a short to be had up here. If so, I would recommend fairly tight stop losses on a short, because you don't want to get squeezed, because you know if it goes up above a certain amount that it's probably not going to go down. It's probably going to keep going up. So that's why I like some tiny stop losses in a safe area. But if it makes a higher, it's made a higher high than this one over here, so she could be getting bullish on us. Ichimoku Cloud says, yeah, I want to be bullish. I'm just telling you, man, Solana look kind of hot. Looks like it might try to make a run for the border there. It might try to jump out of here. And I'm just telling you, if it does, it's going to move. It'll probably come up to $48 pretty quick. But if it doesn't, well, we may get back in about $22, $25. And I'm cool with that too. Well, catch up with the chat here. And we still got some more coins to look up there. Not a member. How's it going, man? So I'm not straight on who my Tangent wallet winners, who all got their wallet, but I know that they're being sent out. One person I know of does have it. If you guys get them, just let me know, just so we know we got you taken care of on that. And a shout out to Tangent for blessing us with 3 free wallets to give away on this channel for celebrating 1,000 subs. Hey, Grizz. See Grizz in here. How's it going, Grizz? Oh no, not a member says doing good, except he had his first rug pull today. Hey man, that's your badge. You just earned a badge there. My first rug pull was Silk Coin, and it had the little logo just like they did on Silk Road, and I think it was the news of Silk Road, or I don't know, but it pumped. Everybody was up on it, and then it turned out being a rug pull. But it was a unique experience for me, because what happened afterward is that the community was so pissed, as rightly we should be, but they came together and actually got developers, and the community came and actually revived this coin, put it on a trajectory very similar to what Ethereum was doing. And that was so far beyond me when I saw the game plan for the roadmap or what they had in mind doing the virtual machine that I couldn't even understand what it was. I was like, okay, I'm in. And so I would help them a little bit with their PR on the like Bitcoin. Gosh, they don't even use that, the forum. Is it Bitcoin Forum? Oh gosh, it's been so long since I've been over there, but we had these chat rooms and everything. Then that's where you found out information on Bitcoin and the altcoins. Very old school. But eventually that one died because lack of interest and, things just happened that way. But it was a neat experience learning a lot about the proof of stake and stuff like that I probably wouldn't have learned otherwise. And just do little graphical stuff and funny stuff, meme stuff. Just promote them, and it wasn't paid. It's just because part of the community and I believed in it. And I had an emotional investment because I got rug pulled, just like everybody else. Marco says, I want to get into Joystream. Looking nice for accumulation. Hasn't run up today like the others. Let's take a look. Did we finish with... Okay, we're good with Solana, right? I have been accumulating Joystream. Did we have a trade set up? But if it was, why would I do that? Buying at the bottom of this is possible. So if I were setting a trade up, I'd be looking, buying a bottom trend line with a tight stop loss. I don't know if I moved this or if that's what we had before. Hard to say. If it was, clearly there was a stop out there that did not happen, and that was a 6% loss. What was that? I honestly cannot remember what we had on this. I need to actually document that a little bit better. Overall, I'm looking for a possibility coming down to this juicy buy zone. Broke up parabolic, rising channel. We did go parabolic, but then we came down and we went back into the pattern. And that's where we start getting in some trouble. And it really has just as good of a chance to come back down here to 0.01718. It really does now. And retest these areas back over here. And that's more than likely what we will see. That's my prediction for it. Although it could just keep going in this channel. There are some signs that it may be finding some strength there. But typically, man, after you break out on one side, it usually, a lot of times, more often than not, I'll put it that way, will break out on the other side as well. It's, they're clearing out longs and clearing out shorts, both are in everything. So clearing the market is basically how bull traps and bear traps kind of work. So I do see a possibility for it to come down. If it does, I'll be building more of a bag. I'm not really so much, I may still nibble at it. One thing to notice is that, remember we talked about on this indicator money flow being the biggest thing, and we're losing money flow. It's starting to trickle down. We haven't went into the red yet, so there's still some hope. And maybe we can hold sideways, but overall we're getting a retracement. It had its day. It needs to chill out for a little while, in my personal opinion. And I'm sure there'll be some more hype for it soon, and it will recover. But usually after you get these big moves, those parabolic movements like that, when they break that, these coins are exhausted. They need a break. It's healthy for them to take a break, and sometimes it takes them a little while to kind of regain it and reestablish the bottom. But I think 2 cents is in order in the longer term play on Joystream. So what was that? Saphirium? Is that what it was called? Saphirium? I've never even heard of that. Okay. So on rug pulls, that will make you more cautious on the projects that you look into from now. And once you go through that, then you say, yeah, I'm not as excited to get in on this meme or this thing. What do you actually do? That's where, what's your use case? That's where that comes from, going through a rug pull. Also got taken by some cloud mining before it became a big thing. That was a whole Bitcoin gone. It was a lot cheaper than it was now, so. But there's always scams in crypto, and knock on wood, I've been too smart to fall for them. After you get done a few times, you realize, oh, yeah, I gotta be really cautious here. So, not a member says he received his tangent today. All right, yeah, awesome. Love the people with tangent. I like that. I like that. I'm glad you guys got that. So I think that just leaves Austin as the only one I hadn't heard from. Cool. Strega says you could almost code a token to include these rogue ETH addresses. If your bait is juicy, you could catch them at their own game. There's an idea. As soon as they catch on, liquidity remove and add new addresses. Marco says, about the Telegram group, is the lifetime VIP still open to the public? I think you're asking. I took some of the links down because I was just going to make it available just for like the YouTube members. I thought I'm trying to look for perks for that. And sadly, since not many people have been coming, I need to add that. I like a free group. And I like it where we get enough people that discourse, share information, and that's when the magic happens with the group. When you got people working together and you got people posting charts, not just, I'll post charts, but other people can post their setups and their ideas. And then we get a synergy going, and then that's a group. And it just happens naturally. And I think that should be free because it's everybody. It's the people that make it. And that's my idea. But no, if there was an idea I was thinking about putting availability into YouTube memberships, I'm not planning on doing that at the moment. But what I'd said is anybody that's in there now before I do that, I mean, if I did something like that or did some kind of NFT thing, I don't see that coming anytime in the near future at all. Whoever's in there before would have lifetime membership. I'm not going to kick anybody out just because I tried to turn it into a way to monetize. What I would like to do is find some way to monetize it so that people who post there can post trade setups, like my admins and things like that, where they could earn, like through tips or something. I don't know how to do that, but that in my head, that's what I would like to do. I would like to see where people can come there. They're love crypto enthusiastic about it, can actually, earn something there too for just sharing their knowledge and helping people out. That's my dream. I'm not trying to charge $100 a month for it or anything crazy like that. Marco says Joy Stream is dumping and getting into some good levels. What? I take that as a good thing. That box. Strega only accepts tacos. So, there should be some links to the. There are some links somewhere to this Telegram group because I didn't take them all out. So I think that, yeah, 13 more like this. These when you come to the channel and Tangent's the first link up there. There should still be one there. And 13 more links. I'm trying to click it. It's not doing anything. I will go through and I'll make sure that I put those links back because the beauty of a group is to get a bunch of people in there that just share information, and I want that freely available. And the more that happens, the more active I am there too. So, but good people over there, and we also got the bots over the AI analysis bots over there that's free to use. It's a paid subscription. I pay for it, so I need people over there using it, taking advantage of that stuff. I don't want to pay for that stuff and it just sit there. Go let the bots do some work. It's free. I think you should be able to look me up though. But I'll make sure I start putting the links just in the description. I'll make sure that they're in there from now on. LBR Finance just broke out. That was one. LBR. And there's library credits. LBR is Libra? Really? Libra Finance. Okay. I'm a Libra. So I'm not familiar with this. Let's find out. I like that. It's a nice falling wedge that it overall has. Now, going to the extreme of the limits there for this pattern. Technically, I would go from right here to the wick, to the first candle body, and that's where our breakout is. But just know that there's also this as the extreme right there. We copy that. But for my falling wedge, this is what I'm really looking at. And so that tells us that we can come up to about $1.38 and maybe get, find resistance there at this trend line area. So that may be our first stop, and it may want to do a retracement there and then continue up and, maybe do an official breakout of this secondary trend line, I guess, or extended trend line. But I see this one as being the main one that just broke out above it. It looks good. There's some divergence there. So she looks like she's ready to do something. So good call, Chris. Headed up to the Ichimoku cloud. It's got some signs here on the daily that look good. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. We're above the 200 moving average. There you go. There you go. So breaking out above the 4 hour 200 moving average. That's his yellow line. Holding that as support. That's going to be a great sign. Ichimoku cloud looks like it's ready to rock. So whatever this is, it's looking good. You got a trend line that you can establish right here as a line in the sand. So if it starts breaking below this trend line, you can exit your trade and probably get in at a better price or change your strategy up, but that will keep you from having to take a loss in most cases, or at least riding something down into unfun territory. Because remember, like we talked about earlier, and surprisingly, what a lot of people don't talk about is the retracement or the retest of these breakouts, because they have a certain percentage. This one, a 62% chance to come back to the level it broke out, or gosh, even worse, to the trend line. One of those two before it continues up. So always a retracement. Usually always. It doesn't always have to be. If things are extremely bullish, it'll just keep going. But we're not there yet. But Libra, let's find out a little bit about this one. It looks very interesting. Thank you, Chris, for bringing this one up. And see, this is the synergy of our group here sharing. And I'll be honest with you, for any channel, anything, this is where the real magic happens. Out of all the YouTube channels that I've participated with or followed and everything, the best alpha was just when you had a little group, and sometimes it was a small group. On Dub Digital's channel, I used to watch him, and that little group came together. There's so much alpha that would be passing among the people there. It was just crazy. And you get little clues or something, you'll hear about a coin that you may not look at before. Like I wouldn't be looking for LBR. And so it's really the community that makes up channels. Labs is another one to look at. We've been looking at it. Maybe. So let's come over here and let's take a look at Libra Finance. So I'm taking this as on Ethereum. Looks like it is. Finance play. Libra Finance is migrated to a new contract address from their old contract address. So I'm taking that this is the price, right? Got the right price. It says 99 cents. And we're at 90. Yeah, okay, so we're on the right one. So maximum supply is 100 million. Now I like that. I like the lower maximum supplies. Total supply is 15 million, so it's only a fraction of that out right now. So keep that in mind as these are unlocked or whatever over time. It will affect the price, but I like the low maximum supply, 100 million. That will affect the price a lot too. So just some things to keep in mind there. Market cap's at 6 million, dudes. This thing is super, super cheap right now. So, Chris, you might be really onto something here. Okay, 5 months ago, we reached its all-time high of $4.64. So that was over here. Went parabolic, and then she did the down and sideways recovery dance and started pumping up a little bit more there. Got up to what, 270, 280? So 99 cents, I mean, if I had the dry powder sitting there, I would probably jump right in on this one. I got to do some moving things around before I can think about that. I think this is a good one to look at. So yeah, I like that. So you can take a measure move. There's a couple ways to do this. This is your basic measure move, and it's fairly accurate. $2.54 on that measure move. Now, a shortcut way to do Thomas Bukowski is to go from swing high to swing low. Well, that's not really. It is not really. Yeah, it is kind of. It really is kind of. He goes from the tall wick to the bottom, and so that kind of levels out here. And depending on what pattern it is, has a price percentage of meeting target right here for this exact pattern. Percentage meeting price target for up or down breakouts. For up breakout, 62%. You can estimate that very easily using that Fibonacci tool. Just take this line, take it to the 6-1, not that line. Take our little measure move line here, put it to the 618, there's your 62%. Put that up there, and then you got a little bit more of an accurate measure move, which puts us in at 242. Also, you want to look at the 618 Fibonacci, because that's another juicy little target. And it may take it a while to get there. It's got to get past $1.25 and $1.60 before we can start seeing those areas. $1.25, $1.26 in that area is going to be a big one for it, because it needs to flip that as support where it lost it over here. So that's going to be a main one. And when it comes to your Fibonacci, if you do not get above that 236, you're eyeballing the 27, which would be about 6.6 cents. So that's something to keep in mind. So we want to get above that 236 so that we're not threatened with coming down to those lower areas. So that's just a little fib tip there. And when you pull it, you definitely, when you're making your way back up, hopefully to the 618 or the 786, one of these two areas. Need to clear this 236. If you don't, you're either looking at another bottom or lower. So there's some analysis tips. I think I've covered that before, but not everybody catches it. Or not everybody's, the same people are always here to hear it. All right, let's take a look. Strega says the 00. What was it? Is it 00? It's just 00, isn't it? It took off too. They're all popping off. I'm telling you, a lot of them are popping off. Oh, I remember you. And we gave it a pep talk, didn't we? With a little balloon, helium. So that's cool. Hopefully. So is it just going to be a spike, or is it actually going to do something? That's going to be the question. So if we can see it close a candle above the 9, we may be looking at something. Otherwise, it may just be spiking up there. But hey, take what we can get, right? Because that's what, about 13% move. That's not bad. So 00, rocking out there. Strega, hope you're killing it on it. Hope all you guys are killing it on everything. Because it's just a blessing that things are starting to go up, right? And I don't know how long it'll last. It may be short-lived. It may be the start of something bigger. But there will be pullback. So, I mean, everything's not going to bump up to the moon. And there is also, just to try not to get too bullish too soon. because they do play games at this point in the market. And the big players do want those blue chip coins, and they're going to try to get it. And whether that comes out with some fake news, but in the market, some hack that may later prove to be not true, they play dirty. Just be aware of it. Strike us if it doesn't get to 8 cents, we're going to have to wait a bit more. Oh, we're at 7. Jeez. What are you doing? So we're at 7 cents now? Let's go to 4 hour. 4 hour will tell us something here. She's still struggling, but I mean, there's some divergence. That's good. I like that. I like the divergence. That's true. That's true bullish divergence there. So she made a lower low and then she wicked out over here, and then we got divergence. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stick now, but it could. It could be sticking now, or we could just be spiking up and coming back and, you know, doing this again. That could happen too, but it's still forming that divergence, so it's getting ready to, it's starting to show the signs of a possible reversal. So your 8 cents may be coming. It may not be that far away. It just may not immediately get there. It's got some work to do on these moving averages. But the divergence is a good clue for something. So, Strick, I think you're doing all right on that one. I guess the question is, would you buy it again? But, I mean, if you're going to go into a coin, don't you want to go at the bottom? Don't you? This is... I hope you guys realize the unique opportunity that's in front of you, and has been for this whole past year, for accumulating your bags of altcoins, because at some point these prices are going to look super juicy, and there's going to be people when these things pop off and come back to the highs that they had before, or even part of it. This gets to 65 cents. You go, everybody's going to be, man, who were those smart people that bought it 6 cents? It's the people that weren't scared that were doing it. People like you, Stray, huh? Yeah, that's whale mentality. It's the people that can stomach it through this rough time, and this has been a rough crypto winter. This one hadn't. It's been a hard one. Really trying your patience, and you don't see your bags move, and you're like, will this ever turn into anything? Especially if you're DCAing, doing position tradings, trying to build up bags. I mean, you know, you got to ride through some rough times taking that investment strategy, right? Everybody's not out there trading 50x leverage, and the people that are, you know, that's not where the real money is made. The real money is made by buying at the lowest points in the market, and we've been there. Trigger says he had a price impact on SoFi and couldn't get his order in. And TRB did that. TRB, man, she's the one that got away. She's the one that got away. I let my biases get to me this way. I let my emotions trick me on this one. And so I hope the people that view this and fans of Liver don't think that I was trying to give them a hard time. I'm just pointing out the truth things. That stuff happened to me. Happened to me on TRB. I mean, it wasn't a lost trade. It was, I was in this and held this for so long that when it finally got up to where I was actually in profit, well, I sold more. Instead of following my strict, I don't sell out 100% of everything, I ended up accidentally selling out 100% of this. I think my highest was probably about $22, $24, somewhere through there, in the low 20s. And, you know, expecting to buy it when it pulls back. Makes sense, right? Until it decides to do its own thing. And you know, this thing is 4x since where I sold it and never gave me a chance to buy it cheaper. And I'm cool with that. It sucks that it happened, but I got as much teller as I deserve. And that's just how you have to look at it. You get what you get at the price that you deserve it. And that's the easiest, most simple way to look at it. Now, this little baby, she's been doing this bearish megaphone. But is it so bearish? You come down to the bottom, if you bounce, where do you go? You go to the top of it again. She's got legs, man. Look at me looking at, I'm amazed at this thing. I don't know what the news is about this one or anything, what's prompted all this, but it still looks strong. This one is, oh golly, are you serious? See, now I'm going to have a problem of getting in a teller when it's like, you know, $10 or something crazy like that. Making myself buy it if it pulls back to 52 or pulls back to 63. And see, there's a mental thing I've got to go through there, but I bought it at $10. Yeah, and you sold it at 20, so there you go. Look at this. It's probably hard to see because it's so thin. This is the green Ichimoku cloud right there. Is that little thin line in green. Very far away from price. That alone tells me this thing is still mega bullish. Look here on the 5-day. I'm on the 5-day chart here, and look what's happening. The 21 is getting ready to cross over the 200. That's going to give us another boost. It should. So is there any place that's a good place to get in on this? I think it's just going to be hard to catch. I think I would target the bottom of this trend line, to be honest with you, and I don't even know that would hit. But coming back down to this support area, where are you? Draw a little rectangle right here. That, you know, there's, and it lines up with the 21 moving average. That's the best that I can hope for right now. It may not come back down there, $74 just yet. Eventually, I'm sure we will retest those areas, but she is showing some strength there, and it's bounced off the bottom of this bearish megaphone and just steadily heading up and starting to go parabolic there. So coming back to retest this trend line may not be in the cards. What might be in the cards is retesting this trend line. See, we broke to the upside of another bearish pattern, and that may trigger some parabolic action there. But the 9 moving average, let's just break it down on the 4 hour. That's like $83. So I've been trading this one on perps in and out since I've, you know, lost my spot position on it. And it's been a crazy trade. This thing has had such a crazy range. It's a challenge to trade with higher leverage. So if you're trying to do that, you may want to start looking about 3x or somewhere through there, because you start getting too far above that, she might get you unless you're watching it really carefully. But I like it. It's definitely a strong contender. I don't know, this one, this may be one of the top performers for this run. Who knows? I remember from last bull market or last bull run, but when it got up to 163, and now we're at $96 today, 88 right now. And 2 years ago is when it had its high. I mean, I don't know what's going on with it. I have not done my research into it or anything lately to find out what all the hype is, but there's something there, and a lot of people are picking up on it, and it's just steadily moving it up. So definitely wanted to keep on your radar. Max supply is ... so it may be infinity, and they may have a really good burn program or something. I don't know, but 2.5 million TRB. That's pretty low. That has a lot to do with that price right there. Total supply 2.5, circulating supply 2.4 million. See the performance that you get when you have one that doesn't have like billions and trillions of coins. It's easier to get these more powerful moves, and that's why I like them. Striga says, I'll choose time over TRB. Well, TRB is a little bit up there right now. Hopefully time will do something like this. I mean, something similar, you know, with the supply and demand. And we can see, you know, some impressive moves out of time, hopefully. I think it's got a good use case. Striga says, I got in TRB at 15. You madman, you. Do you still have it? I hope you do. Or at least part of it. I hope you didn't sell too early like I did, but and the lesson learned there, it's a lesson that I knew not to be biased, but the bias, your emotions still get you, and they still. I'll go ahead and put that limit order in. It probably won't get hit anyway. Oh, it got hit. Darn if that wouldn't last in my TRB. So my moonbag strategy did not work out because I let my emotions get to me. And that's the sad thing, that your emotions will get to you and you don't realize it until after the fact. And you're like, oh crap. That wasn't really me, that was my emotions. And then you start blaming it on market makers and the time that you're trading and whatever, you know, you got to justify why you were wrong. Why you were wrong. And most times it's your emotions or your ego. Did the same with Saul. Did you really? Awesome. All water in the bridge. Striga says I trade against myself. It's easy to do. It's easy to overtrade too. That's one of my issues that I have to fight with sometimes. I always feel like you need to be in a trade. So doing the futures kind of helps that a little bit. It kind of drives that point home that, oh crap, sometimes no trade's the best trade. I'm not endorsing futures. Tiny amounts. Just so you get smacked around enough to know that, hey, you don't know everything. And you start taking a look at what you need to work on. Now they say a trading journal. Yeah, this is not one. This is just a notebook. If you have the discipline to do a trading journal, they'd be very eye-opening to help you figure out where your problems areas are and how to kind of notice them. That's the benefit of a trading journal. The thing is that I think most of us in crypto, we like the fast profits and we're too lazy to do the work for things like that. And I think that the people who do get those rewards, but I'll just be honest with you, I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. Give me a note on platform, give me a post. But that is where you will find some growth and some rookie insights into your trading. I do actually have a actual trading journal around here somewhere, but I've discovered just how lazy I am when it comes to actually writing that stuff down. Striga says, you make it all too easy, Mr. Jones. All right, guys, it is 1 o'clock and I've been on here way too long. It's been a long ass stream. Well, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I know it's late for most of you guys too. I will do my best to, what is today? Today is Monday, right? Tuesday? I may sneak a daytime stream in, but I'm partial to the nighttime ones, man. I love hanging out with you guys at nighttime, so I don't plan on changing that. So usually 10:30, 11ish, I'm here. 11 seems to work out pretty good, and hopefully I'll catch you guys here next time. If you haven't already, where you're watching now or tuning in later and happen to stay here.
Been hitting that like button. I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Anybody else think I pushed that button too quick? I think I pushed that too quick. If you hit the like button, that does help. But I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, 2 hours is crazy. It doesn't feel like it. I could probably go for another 2, to be honest with you. But I mean, just looking at charts and getting lost in them, that's what I do. This is what I do anyway. So you guys are just here for the ride. We do it together. Chris says, I'm learning a lot from you and everyone here. Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I worry sometimes, and I hope that I can make myself clear enough to get these ideas and stuff out there. It's really important for me for more accurate information to get out there. And I don't always get it right, but at least, you know, instead of saying, giving you things like, because I've seen it play out many, many times, you know, I want to give you where the sources, where does these numbers come from? Where do these percentages come from? Are they effective? Because you hear 68% of the time this break, you know, the other patterns aren't 68% of the time, and a lot of people are, you know, you get stuck in a. I seen it happen in the trading group I used to be with. Suddenly everything was 68% of the time. Well, it's not. So you want to make sure that you got some solid sources, and not just somebody on here. Listen, I'm just a clown on the internet, just like every other fool that has a YouTube channel. This is all opinion. We can be right, we can be wrong. I just try to give you some of the background and some of the sources that you can use to become a better trader. Same things you would get if you paid for it, but you don't have to pay for it. All right, until next time, guys, be cool, trade safely, and hey, man, take some profits. Pay yourself when you can, moonbag it when you can, and also we can make that money and make some life-changing money on this bull market. Maybe coming. Just be cautious. Remember, they're out there to trick you. See you guys tomorrow night.
Wow.